This is NBC6 News Now.
Just into the newsroom, Miami police have confirmed a deadly shooting that happened in Brickell, and the investigation continues as we speak. Good morning, South Florida. Thanks for watching NBC6 News Now. I'm Chris Anderson. NBC6's Julia Bagg has been live on the scene since early this morning. She joins us with what detectives are telling us right now. Julia?
Yeah, so Chris, we've just learned that one man is dead from a shooting here early this morning. And I want to get right to the video for you so you can take a look at what detectives have been up to. There was a body on scene on the ground here. There are evidence markers that usually note where bullet casings have been on the ground. So officers have been taking pictures throughout the night. You can hear the Metro Rail passing by us. We're right next to the Underline Park here on Southwest 8th Street and Southwest Court. Southwest Court is blocked off for close to 2 blocks behind this yellow crime scene tape, and that is where the focus of the investigation has been this morning. Take a listen to someone who told us what it was like in this popular area, just out here enjoying overnight, and then suddenly things changed.
We were sitting like having fun and eating here, and suddenly with this beautiful night we heard like so many shots, like 7 or 8 or 9, and like in less than 1 minute, like so many cops, they came and everything, and we saw that they started closing the streets and everything.
And so back out live here, you see police officers beyond the crime scene tape. We know the body is still on the ground as they collect evidence. Here again, one man is dead. So far, detectives not sharing any details on a possible shooter, but we are expecting to learn new information from them this morning. So stay close for that. Live in Brickell, Julia Bagg, NBC6 News.
Julia, thank you for the update. And we want to get to another breaking story this morning where there's an active police investigation in a Fort Lauderdale neighborhood. NBC6's Brianna Nesperal just arrived. She joins us live with the latest on what we know here. Still, obviously, very active behind you, Brianna.
Yes, it is, Chris. Let me tell you, plenty of these neighbors waking up to this active scene here. This is off of Northwest 8th Avenue between 13th and 14th Street here in Fort Lauderdale. As you mentioned, an active police investigation. Plenty of crime scene tape up surrounding multiple homes in this neighborhood on this block. I counted at least 7 police cars total throughout this neighborhood here. As I mentioned, plenty of crime scene tape. We did see detectives focusing their attention on a home on the left-hand part of your screen here. It's kind of blocked from our vantage point right now because we were pushed back here a few moments ago. But what I can tell you, we did see some detectives focusing their attention on the outside of that home, on a silver car parked outside as well, taking photos, looking under. We don't know exactly what happened here yet. We're just seeing this police investigation. I did just speak with an officer, though. They did tell me that their spokesperson will be reaching out, giving us some more information here shortly. I also want to tell you, I spoke to a neighbor about 30 minutes ago, right when we arrived on scene. He said that the house that seems to be the center of this investigation has had problems here before. He believes that is where they are investigating, and it's caused concerns for him because his kids and his grandkids also live here in this area. In fact, he's actually looking to move out because he says within the past year or so, there's been a lot more trouble on this side of the block. Take a listen to what he had to say.
See the police and all the crime tape roped off the whole neighborhood. It's been bad. I mean, people have been complaining. It's been bad.
Yeah, now back here live again, still very active investigation. You heard him say for the past year or so, things have been bad. It's been getting worse and worse. It's causing concern for him and other neighbors. In fact, I spoke to another woman who said the same exact thing, that this has been happening within the past year or so. So definitely a cause for concern. Again, we are working to find out what exactly led to this police investigation, but definitely an active scene here, Northwest 8th Avenue between 13th and 14th Street. Live in Fort Lauderdale this morning, I'm Brianna Nesperal, NBC6 News.
Brianna, thank you. And we continue following several incidents involving your commute, and this isn't what you want to see on I-95. The first involving this accident that caused 2 lanes and lots of delays heading northbound at Hollywood Boulevard. We did reach out to investigators and officials with the traffic department to find out what happened and if anyone was injured. Once we hear that, we'll be sure to share that info with you. But again, just be alert when you're heading out this morning. There are some accidents and delays out there you need to be aware of. We're also learning more this morning about a Haitian woman who died while in custody of ICE at a facility in Pompano Beach. Marie Blaze died at the facility, and officials say her cause of death is still under investigation. She was issued a notice of removal in February and has been in ICE custody ever since then. A 4-year-old in the hospital this morning recovering after being shot in central Broward County. According to Broward Sheriff's Office, the child was shot in Fort Lauderdale's Washington Park neighborhood yesterday. The child's grandfather telling NBC6 off camera that his grandson was shot in the foot. Video from Chopper 6 shows crime scene tape surrounding a home right off of Northwest 27th Avenue in 6th Court as detectives looked through that area for any evidence and clues. Deputies are working to figure out what led up to the shooting and who pulled the trigger. Let's turn to a health alert now involving Dillard High School over in Fort Lauderdale, where the Broward School District has confirmed that a person who has active tuberculosis was recently on campus. The Department of Health is involved. Those people who may have been in close contact with that person have been contacted. Tuberculosis is a contagious bacterial disease, usually affects the lungs, but it can spread to other parts of the body as well. The fight over fluoride seems to finally be coming to an end in Florida. The Florida House giving final approval to a bill that would prevent local governments from adding fluoride to your drinking water. Supporters say government agencies shouldn't decide whether to add it to the water. Critics argue that adding fluoride helps protect children from cavities and other dental problems. If Governor Ron DeSantis signs the bill, it would go into effect in July. All right, let's talk sports now. That's water, but we'll talk sports because when water freezes, it turns to ice. Transition to the Florida Panthers. They're going to be on the ice, but without one of their top defensemen when they take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in Game 5. It's tonight in Tampa. Problem is the NHL's Department of Player Safety suspended Aaron Ekblad for 2 games after he elbowed Brandon Hagel in Game 4. Here's the incident in question right here. Look at the bottom of your screen. You're going to see what happens. There's Hagel down on the ice. It got Ekblad suspended. It wasn't called a penalty at the time during the game, but Hagel missed the rest of that game. And after the fact, Ekblad was hit with a was only in his second game back since serving that 20-game suspension for performance-enhancing drugs. He was a key part of Florida's Game 4 win as he scored the game-tying goal with 4 minutes left. So they're going to have to play without him. Panthers will look to clinch the series against the Tampa Bay Lightning and advance to the next round. You have to like the Panthers' chances so far because they're 2-0 on the road in Tampa in this series. Brad Marchand faced the Cats as an opponent in the playoffs the past 2 seasons as a member of the Boston Bruins. He talked about what it's like to be a part of the Panthers team now. He's glad he's on the Panthers side because he talks about the swagger and the energy that the Cats have heading into tonight's big Game 5. Let's go Cats. Thanks for watching NBC6 News Now. We'll be right back with your first alert forecast in just a bit. No.
first alert weather on NBC6, South Florida's most accurate. Here's meteorologist Adam Berg.
Hi, everybody. So we've been doing this a lot lately. We've had these warm mornings. Why is this happening? That east breeze working in. So how cool did we get? Only 73 in Kendall, 73 at Opelika, 76 Pembroke Pines. A typical low for us, about 71 or so. So we're coming in a few degrees above average. Seeing that down through the Keys as well with mid 70s. An east breeze, though, is a cooler breeze for Naples because it's a land breeze. You don't have that warm ocean warming you up there. So that's why you're about 10 degrees cooler than everybody else. So how much of a breeze are we talking about? Well, enough, unfortunately, to get those rip current risks active again. So high risk of rip currents where you see the red, coastal beaches here for Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County. And we're extending this high risk of rip currents through, it looks like at least Friday evening, maybe some lighter winds working in for the weekend. So the breeze has been the story, will continue to be a story for the next few days. The drought across South Florida continues to be a story as well. So this is what we call the drought monitor. It updates with new colors every midday Thursday. So we'll see you here midday on Thursday with the update to this map. But hey, not looking good in general across South Florida. So the red, that's a 3 on a scale of 0 to 4, and that's extreme drought. And then that darker brown, severe drought encompassing almost all of South Florida. The only spot that's running a rainfall surplus, meaning we've seen more rain than we should at this point in the year, is Key West. Everybody else desperately needs the rain. And it has been a while. So in Miami, the last measurable rain, you got to go all the way back to April 10th. And here we are almost done with April 10th, and we only picked up 1/100th of an inch of rain that day. Fort Lauderdale, you got to go back to April 10th. How much did we get? Almost nothing. 9/100ths of an inch. And then, you know, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, right? You know that saying? Well, that's what's going on in Key West. You're running a rainfall surplus. You really don't need the rain. And of course, you're the one spot that got some rain today, right? So that's just the way it goes. All right, high pressure way east of us. That's what's bringing us this gusty east breeze today. And without any sort of deep moisture, this is why the rain chances stay low as well for the next several days. But better rain chances next week. By the way, speaking of rain chances running high, here we go across Texas, parts of Oklahoma, Mississippi Valley. It is a busy start to the day here. We're tracking a severe thunderstorm watch and a couple of warnings here. That's what the smaller yellow areas are, actual severe thunderstorm warnings. So it's busy across the plains of Mississippi Valley today. And this is exactly where we are seeing the best chance for additional severe weather. So whenever you start getting into the yellow and brown on this particular product, this is called the thunderstorm outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. Once you start getting into that brown, which is a 3 on a scale of 1 to 5, this is a very, very good chance of seeing severe weather today. Even yellow, it means scattered severe thunderstorms. So big outbreak expected here today. And the darker green, that's a 1, meaning isolated severe weather. You see it stretches all the way from New Mexico into the Ohio Valley. So a large area in a nutshell, looking at more active weather today and tonight. Okay, back to South Florida. What are we talking about for temperatures? Low 80s, actually looking at below average temperatures. That's what happens here when you get that east breeze. So there's that breeze today. Again, just a couple of clouds, guys. That is it. Not much to worry about here. Dry air is back in. When do we finally see some moisture working in? We'll see it this weekend, guys, and that's when those rain chances start moving up, especially for next week.